August and September were pretty busy months for Casio once again, as they continue to crank out quality watches across all different price ranges and styles, even in the midst of a global pandemic. Included in their new lineup are 3 digital analog watches, including this new Gravity Master GRB200, which is a quad-sensor Bluetooth G-Shock with a carbon core structure priced at $350. And then there is this stainless steel bezel GM100, which is priced at $200 US. And then we have the interesting GA900, which will be released soon. This is a new heavy-duty street fashion piece with a 10-sided bezel. It's also got 4 big screws up top holding the whole thing together. This rugged watch clocks in at about $120. But today we're checking out a quality budget watch, the W-737H, which will set you back a whopping $21 with free shipping from Amazon. And as usual with Casio, don't let the price fool you. This watch has a couple cool features and some impressive specs for such an inexpensive watch. So let's hop right in and check this thing out. Well, it's not a G-Shock, that's for sure, but Casio's new W-737H has some good stuff up its sleeve, including 100 meters of water resistance, a 10-year battery, and a 1/100th of a second stopwatch with timer, alarm, dual time, and a bright amber LED backlight with afterglow. That backlight is actually pretty special since it comes with a front-facing button rarely seen on square watches at this price point. In fact, the last time I saw this button was on the GBX 100 I reviewed last month. And here's a side-by-side comparison, just to get a feel for the size of this watch, which has a width of 45.7 millimeters, and it's got a lug-to-lug width of 51.9 millimeters, making it a solid fit for average size or even smaller wrists like mine. And it definitely wears a bit smaller than it looks. The lug width on the W737H is 18 millimeters, so it is entirely possible to swap out this mediocre resin band for something maybe a bit more interesting. And this lineup actually comes in 3 colors. You're looking at the black version here, but we've also got a gray version, and then we have this cool navy color with a standout yellow light button, which is pretty nice. So check out the construction of this resin case. It's definitely rugged. It's got 4 big pushers that can be easily operated with gloves on for the coming winter months. Plus it's got that nice big fat light button front and center, which is really convenient. There's also some texturing on the outside of the case, which adds a little interest. And it's also got on top of the bezel these kind of 4 hexagonal divots, which are obviously just purely cosmetic. But all in all, this watch should hold up pretty well. And it wears kind of small on the wrist, as I mentioned, and even though it's got a resin crystal, scratches on this glass should easily buff out with a little dab of polywatch. And you'll notice that the straps have those butterfly ends, which keep the watch secure to your wrist, and also keep the strap kind of curled up if you happen to drop it while you're not wearing it. So that is a nice touch. So let's go ahead and check out this dial. So on the front of the case, we've got the illuminator label and a light button label. The dial itself has red highlights with the words 10-year battery, and downstairs you'll see alarm WR chrono. The 4 buttons are labeled mode, adjust, split, and start stop. And inside is the water resistant 100-meter lettering. So when I first got this watch, it seemed to me that the home screen was a little bit barren, to be honest. Down at the bottom, you've got big beefy numbers that show the time. And then up at the very top is the day and date. There are also two circular LCDs with the rightmost one counting up and down 10 seconds at a time. And I was wondering why some other areas seem to be so bleak, but after checking out the features, you'll see that the area under the date is reserved for the mode selector, and then in alarm mode, the empty circle fills up with the alarm indicator while the hourly chime indicator sits over to the left right next to the time. So I guess it's not really a bad use of space once you kind of get familiar where everything is located. Also notice that as I'm paging through the different modes, that the full time, including the seconds, are displayed up at the top of the watch no matter which mode you're in, which is actually really nice. This watch uses the 3488 module, which is accurate to about plus or minus 30 seconds a month. I've got a link down in the description if you want to check out the full suite of features for this module. The most notable includes a full 24 hours for both the timer and the stopwatch. The stopwatch includes a 5-second auto start with 3 seconds of beeping and a nice long starting sound. Let's check that out real quick. So in stopwatch mode, just press the B button and you'll see the auto start indicator and a 5-second countdown at the top. And then you'll start to hear the beeps at 3 seconds, and then a nice long beep to start the stopwatch. And then there's also a target time setting on the stopwatch, which lets you set a 10-second audible alarm at any hour, minute, or second that you choose. So it's pretty easy, just hold down the A button and then you can select either the hours, minutes, or seconds. I'll go over here and choose a 5-second target time, and then you can turn that on or off. I'll turn it on, and then all you have to do is start the stopwatch and you'll hear that audible alarm at your chosen time. And that will continue on for 10 seconds. And that's a nice feature for people who work out or go on runs or do anything where they need an audible alert. And finally, the LED light is bright. It illuminates the entire dial. You can see the LED itself sitting over to the side of the watch. And the afterglow lasts for 1.5 seconds. And unfortunately, that is not configurable. And last but not least, let's remove the straps and the case back and get a look at the module and a closer look at that dial. So here's a quick shot of the case back. Again, this is module 3488. Let's go ahead and pop up that case back. You'll see the rubber O-ring and the module itself. Let's go ahead and get that out. Alright, so there's the little plastic dial that fell out. You can see it's actually pretty bare bones, so if you're doing some modding, you really won't have to clean that up too much. But this module is actually pretty cool. It's hexagonal in shape, which is pretty interesting. And again, if you're looking to do some modding, you might be able to make that top area negative, or maybe change around the circular LCDs, or even drop in some filters to give that module some different colors. So lots of different options there. And one last thing I wanted to show was dual time mode, where you have the local time up top and your dual time at the bottom, which I actually like a lot. It's good to have both times readily visible right there. So anyway, that's about it. I'm actually pretty impressed with this super inexpensive budget watch from Casio. I've been wearing it for a couple days and it fits well, and it certainly isn't huge on the wrist like some big G-Shocks. Honestly, that resin strap isn't the best, but it should be pretty easy to swap that out. It's definitely long enough. Right now I am on hole number 8 of 11, and like I said, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. So all in all, it's a pretty decent watch, definitely a good value for the money, and it fits pretty well. So if you want to pick one up as a classic beater, or keep one around for years to come. This is definitely a good choice. So I hope you enjoyed the review. There's a link to the Amazon page down below. Give it a look. And again, thanks a lot for joining me. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and I would really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks a lot.